We are kicking off NFL Week 1. How about that? Just saying it sounds great. Just saying it sounds fantastic. We're busting out an early morning, Sunday morning pregame. How y'all like that pregame? We out here partying, getting ready for your team to kick off a little foosball. Talk about an exciting time to be a sports fan. As we know, we've already had 2 games so far in NFL Week 1. Your boys, Kansas City Chiefs, pulled off a dub. The Green Bay Packers versus the Ravens was an interesting game. Your boy had picked the Packers to win that game, and they didn't. They did not. Talk about just a legitimate disappointment. Legitimately disappointing. It happens though, you know. It happens. Which games are you looking forward to? I know there's a bunch out there. Which game are you looking for, bud? We're excited, bro. We got fantasy football ready to go. I want to see what your rosters are looking like. I want to see what your questions are. Who you starting over who? Is your roster lined up? Could be, could not be, you know. Let's see what you got. Early morning streams. I'm trying to keep the Rumble folks updated. They're always a little bit behind the YouTube folks, but we try to keep them. We try to keep them entertained. Try to keep them in the mix, you know. So if you got any questions, make sure you pop them down in the comments. I will probably start off with a little news. Wake and bake. Shout out to Cosmic. Let's get it. That one's for you, buddy. Shout out to you for being the first commenter, too. We only made it 2.5 minutes into the stream, and we already got Cosmic out here being an MVP. Shout out to you. Like, that's what I'm talking about. Hey, shout out to Luke Bell. Nice to see you popping in. Jow said, hey, yo, why do you look like Travis, man? Bruh, I wish I looked like Travis. Yeah, I know who Travis is. Look, when it comes to the NFL, we really only talking one Travis, right? What other Travis we gonna talk about? You know what I'm saying? But I don't look like Trav. I wish I did. You know, that'd be pretty cool if I was like a Travis Kelce impersonator. How old are you? 87. I am 87. How do you feel about the Week 1 game? I loved the Kansas City one. You know, that was pretty exciting. That was a banger of a matchup. Shout out to Mora. What's up? The Green Bay Packers and Ravens. I'm too early from the morning for that slip up. But the Green Bay Packers and the Eagles. I can't even remember who won the game, folks. But that was another banger of a game. Cosmic said, all of us white folks with beards look the same to everyone. Ain't that the truth, bro? You know? Ain't that the truth? What's your favorite country? America. I like the Netherlands as well, though. What's that background? Look, it's a beach background. I'm down by the beach, you know? So I like to have the beach background. You think KC can repeat as champs this year? Yes. I've not missed a Super Bowl prediction in 6 years. I've gotten the matchup right every time. I've not got the game winner right every time, but I've got the matchup. And I have the Chiefs playing Lions. So, just a little heads up for you. Shout out to Dandy Brandy. Hi back to you. Cosmic says, America. Heck yeah. Look, we getting it, folks. It's one of those American weekends. There's no better time to be alive. No better time to be alive and I don't know why, but this thing likes to be funky to start the show every time. It seems to always kick me out 5 minutes into the show. Doesn't make any sense. Cosmic says it's 5 a.m. where I'm at. Oof. Yeah, that California time zone, that West Coast time zone is a rough one. That's a rough way to live, folks. The great part about it kicking me off is we lose all the steam that we had, all the momentum we had built up. We went from 15 people to one just because YouTube likes to mess up a little bit of stream. Dandy said it's 8 a.m. here. Yeah, it's 8 a.m. where I'm at too. Dr. Boyle, hello. Shout out to you. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy and wise. Look, I'm late to bed and early to rise. I don't sleep. It doesn't work too well. I just woke up too long ago. How do I feel about that one, Mohammed? I think I'm good with everybody, bro. I celebrate everyone. I just do sports. We don't do politics. And, the world would be a better place if everybody was happy. You live in Kentucky. Shout out to that, Dandy. That's pretty dope. That's a beautiful state to drive through. I've never really spent too much time in Kentucky, but I've driven through a few times. It's be kind of nice. Alan says I was banging 7 grams of rock. That's how I roll. All in one day. All in one day. Muhammad, every race is going to be the same to me, bro. Everybody's just cool. You can't judge someone off that. You got to judge them off their personality. I've met shiesty people in all ethnic groups, and I've met good people in all ethnic groups. Muhammad, keep that stuff out of here, brother. Killing brothers over pieces of ground out here. Yeah, like it just don't make no. Like we're talking football. We ain't talking no. Like we just none of that. None of that. It's crazy. Shout out to Cosmic for that comment. Should I drop Josh Palmer or Trey Benson for Matthew Stafford? Only have one quarterback. Caleb. Yeah, Adrian. And thank you for being the first fantasy football comment of the show. But yeah, I'd chase Matt Stafford as a backup quarterback. That's a solid option. If Matthew Stafford is available, what are the other free agent quarterback choices you have? Can you get Jared Goff? Like stuff like that. I liked it. Jordan says, I've been stroking to your stream for an hour now. Just finished up. Thank you. I've only been alive for 10 minutes, sir, but you got one in. Congratulations. Dandy said, I liked and subbed. Thank you. Man, look, I know we've grown big over the last year, but we still really appreciate every last one we get. Aliens, why do I keep calling you Alan? Humans love humans. We let pride get in the way of acceptance. Thank you. Thank you. We have more in common than we have in common. We're all just trying to live, bro. You're like just looking at someone and be like, I don't like them. It's got to be the dumbest shit you ever done heard. Like, no, what kind of philosophy is that in life? Like, come on now. What do you think about Worthy game 1 or Real Deal? He's the real deal. Look, that is the Timu Tyreek Hill. Like Cosmic said he sub to. Thank you. But yeah, I think Worthy is a monster. Like he's shown in game 1. I don't think he's going to be the number 1 wide receiver. That is clearly Rashid Rice. But as far as you got Deshaun Jackson, same physical size as Worthy. Like there's a lot of guys. He's a little bit small, so you get worried about injury. But there's guys his size that have successfully played. He's fast, man. It's nice to see that speed back on the field. Like I missed Tyreek Hill. Like I know a lot of Chiefs fans won't say that, but I missed him. Okay, I truly missed that electric, that just thunder that he brings. I truly enjoy watching just like that excitement. And seeing Worthy get the, 2 touchdowns, rookie game, first game of the year. Look, you get confidence built up in that guy along with Rashid Rice, and people are going to worry about the Kansas City Chiefs offense for a very, very long time. And like, let's not forget, this whole game was without Hollywood Brown. Like, the Chiefs have a whole nother legitimate weapon to point to. It's pretty wild. Pretty wild. Do you think Jordan Love will be a good pickup if someone drops him, or he won't be good anymore? The problem with Jordan Love is he's going to miss about 4 weeks. And that's pretty killer in the fantasy football world. Like honestly, if you're thinking about picking up Jordan Love and someone drops him, I'd wait a week or two. Like, I'm a Jordan Love hater, naturally born, but the dude has done very well. Um, I just think that 4 weeks in fantasy football is a very long time to be having someone ride the bench. It's kind of seems kind of risky to me, you know what I mean? But if you have room to add them, if you have a spot to bench them, but I do worry, you're going to be without them for a while. But if you're Jordan Love holder, do you hold on to him? That's a tough one. That's a tough one. I know you're looking for QB2, so you got some room. When was let me see. Do you like burger sliders? Yeah, who doesn't like? Yeah, I like sliders. I'm a fat kid. I eat just about anything. You know, there's not too many things in the world this fat kid don't eat. And a burger. Whew, I probably ate a whole cow with the burgers in my lifetime so far. Let's see when your bye week is. I forgot when the Bears bye week is. Week 7. So you do have a little bit of runway, a little bit to choose. You got a ways. Caleb Williams. What round did you have to draft Caleb Williams in? Dustin said, hoping to see a rare win from my team today. Are you a Broncos fan? What's your team? What's your team? Are you a Panthers fan? That's a possibility. We got a few hopefuls in the mix. Danny Brandy says, I'm a fat kid too. Look, we got to unite, you know. Little Debbie's still in business for a reason, folks. MVP champ. But I'm really curious what Dustin's team is now. Like, which way is that going to go? Patriots. Ooh. Ooh. That's a tough one, bud. That's a tough one. After being spoiled for 20 years, of course. Yeah, you know it. No one can pity you. We can't do it. It's not allowed. We cannot feel bad for you. And that game is tough. That game is tough. If Jacoby Brissett wasn't the starting quarterback, I might feel better about picking him, but it feels kind of rough. Adrian said I got Puka, Cup, Scary Terry. Hey, Scary Terry's a great pick. Harrison, you got Marvin Harrison Jr. and Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, Curtis Samuels. Start 4. Jeez, talk about a lineup. Ooh, ooh. Caleb Brown 11. What? This is how you win drafts, folks. That is a winning draft. Uh, that is a winning draft. Danny wants to know how old am I? I'm a little bit less than 40. I forget the age sometimes. Dustin says it really hurts, but there'll be on one of the come up days. One of these days. Hey, it can't be forever. I like your quarterback, the guy you drafted. He's pretty steady. Let me see. If I was going to start Puka, Cup, Scary Terry, Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen, Josh Palmer, or Curtis Samuel, I think I'm going the first. Ah, I'm going to start Harrison Jr., Keenan Allen, Puka, and Scary Terry. That's a tough one. I really want to put Cup in there too. I really do. I might switch out Cup with Keenan Allen. I might go Puka Cups, the first four pretty much. But I think I'd lean Keenan Allen over Cup. But Caleb round 11 is a fantastic way to draft. We busted out, and the way I break it down is in groups. So I always say, put your first round talent on paper by position. So quarterback, wide receiver, running back, tight end, and whoever has the fewest is the order you should be drafting. You went heavy wide receiver and running back and decided too many quarterbacks can give me 20 plus. That was the exact advice we gave on our fantasy advice show like 3 4 weeks ago. There was a solid 15 20 quarterbacks that I felt comfortable winning the league with. You see guys like Jared Goff way back. You got Matthew Stafford as a free agent. Like, what do we like? It's so deep in the quarterback. Wide receiver was super heavy too. But I mean, you cleaned up with that list. That is a killer list. What running backs did you end up getting? I'd be curious about that. But yeah, for me, round 1 and 2 should have been tight end, running back, or running back, tight end. So that's how I drafted, and then start moving to like wide receiver or quarterback or something like that. But wide receiver is super deep too. There's a lot of 1,000 yard guys this season, and I think you picked up about 5 of them. You done got 5, and that's crazy to me. Yeah, that was a smart move though. Tight end, I went Evan Ingram. Not bad. Not bad. I like it. Look, and that's the problem with tight end though. Is like once you get out of like that first 5 or so, tight ends can win the league for you. And people don't even realize it just because it's the position where you can grab a guy that gets points and they don't. It gets a little rough. But I like Evan Ingram. He's got good upside. You can only draft so many elite. Yeah, there's only so many elite tight ends. So I like that pick. That's a pretty solid one. You can't go wrong with that one. Now let me see here. Let's see what it is looking like. Let me pull up the first. I forgot the schedule today. I should know it. You go live and pick the games enough times, you should be able to figure it out. Ooh, this will be an interesting one. I like this one. Panthers versus Saints. Talk about a dumpster fire matchup. Dude with my co-host, dude with a beard, does have this going to a tie. Have you ever seen corn in your poo? Shout out to Matthew. That's an interesting question. Of course I have. Who hasn't? uh, Penny said, unfortunately, my wife has had an affair with my brother, and then I decided to pursue that relationship after 8 years of marriage. Hey, there ain't nothing you can do about it, brother. Let it go. As they say, there's plenty of fish in the sea. Don't get hung up on a stinky bitch. Look, there's just no reason. Hey, shout out from Czech Republic. Shout out Stomach. Look at you at 2:13 in the afternoon. Sounds about right. One of the few countries I have not visited that I would like to. Shout out old Czech Republic. I used to live in Deutschland for 3 years, so not too far away, kind of by there. I know the area a little bit at least. But Czech Republic's a beautiful, beautiful place from the looks. The pictures look excellent. So I'd like to check it out, see what y'all up to. Yeah, Patriots, Bengals. Talk about a tough one. Eco Gamer, bro, what's happening? Shout out to you. Good morning. Let's get it in, folks. This will be an exciting one. What other game am I looking forward to here? They got the matches up here. Let's see. You're black. Congratulations. That is, it's hard to tell on the screen, I guess. You know, you can't tell by typing. Hopefully you meant you're back, because I think I've seen you before. I feel like I remember that screen name. Maybe not. Are you a first-time viewer? Let me know. Drop them in the comments. Ooh, let me see. What about this Cardinals versus Bills? Sorry, that was my brother. It happens. Shout out to Eco Gamer for going through tough times. That's too funny, Benny. I like that one. MW Galaxy King. I hope Pat Mahomes doesn't get his fourth ring. He doesn't deserve to be in the same category as Joe Montana. Hate to be the bearer of bad news, buddy. As a Kansas City Chiefs fan, I happen to be, and a little bit older, I happen to be fortunate enough to have watched both play. And I can promise you, Mahomes is the better quarterback than Joe Montana. So I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Joe already has 4, and I would still put Patrick Mahomes currently today without the 4th ring ahead of Joe Montana. Mahomes over Rodgers all day. That's not even a true discussion. At this point, it's Mahomes and Brady. There's only one man that Mahomes is chasing. Jaden's got the Bills. Look, I've got the Cardinals. Cardinals might just upset this. I think people forget what Bills looks like without Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen was drafted to a playoff team that Tyrod Taylor could get to the playoffs, and he couldn't get there. They went and had to find him help, and they did not do that this offseason. The Bills scare me. You're saying Montana, all wrong. Look, Montana is how you say it in Kansas City now, okay? Look, that's how long I've been a Kansas City Chiefs fan, all right? I know who Joe Montana is. Remember the movie Braveheart? Pat Mahomes looked like the gay son of the king. Oh, bro, I've seen the movie 1,000 times, but I'm gonna have to go look up the king's son. It's been a minute. I haven't seen the movie in a minute, but I'm gonna look just because of the comment. Look, everybody loves making fun of the way the boy looks. They love making fun of the boy's talk. You know, you start getting Kermit talking about old Montana and Joe Montana, and it's interesting. Yeah, it's one of those things. It's okay, Jaden. Like it's just, you know, kind of making fun of him a little bit, but not really. And don't get it twisted. Joe Montana is a legendary quarterback. You know, he's top 5. You know, you're keeping him. I'm keeping him in the top 5. But you know, you got to look at what Tom Brady did. That's how the obvious GOAT. And honestly, the eye test for Patrick Mahomes says I'd take him over anybody. Mahomes is the black version of white Jesus. I see what you did there, and I like it. Steve Young. What about Steve Young? Steve Young's an underrated guy. I think Steve Young has lost his appreciation as time has gone along. You know, if you go back to the early 2000s, Steve Young's name would come up in this, you know, top 10 conversation all the time. You really don't hear Steve Young's name as much as you should. Look, they got rid of Montana because they were so confident in the guy, and he still did good. Nobody will beat Brady. Super Bowl 51 cemented as the GOAT. I disagree with that. I disagree with that wholeheartedly. It's not there for me. Because what you're arguing is he was able to beat Mahomes, right? So it locks in his 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 place in history. But as a Mahomes fan, as a fanboy of Mahomes, I do want to point out a few things. Personally, I think that was Mahomes' best performance in a Super Bowl. The Chiefs did not lose that Super Bowl because of anything Patrick Mahomes did. You can't point to Mahomes for that loss. That offensive line was completely garbage. Look, there was not one starter from week one on the offensive line in the Super Bowl. Like, it's just unbelievable to talk about. You're talking about unbelievable amount of drops by wide receivers. That stuff would hit him in the face. Patrick Mahomes had a top 100 play in that Super Bowl that was an incompletion. An incompletion. Jaden, Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman is garbage and was carried by his team. Next thing you know, you're going to tell me about Terry Bradshaw. Like, I'm not a Troy Aikman fan. He was garbage, overrated. We put the overrated on Troy. It was the Falcons they played. Oh, you talking? Okay, I see what you're saying. The comeback game. My bad. I got them mixed up. Excuse me. Thank you for the correction, Galaxy. You had me rambling for 2 minutes about the wrong game. But yeah, hey, there's a strong point to that. What was it, 28-3? Yeah, that big old comeback. And that was a monster comeback. And really, that kind of like cemented Matt Ryan not being a Hall of Fame quarterback. I think he needed that Super Bowl ring to get a conversation about being in it. It was a hell of a comeback. And really, that game is great for when people like to talk about how Bill Belichick carried the team, you know? I swear this dude was my Uber last night. I've never Ubered in a day of my life, bud. But it sounds like you had a great one. Hopefully you tipped buddy like $20. Steelers fans are here. Hey, shout out the GOAT. What do you think? I think they started Justin Fields today. I think they switched it up. They had originally said Russell Wilson, and maybe it's Justin Fields. It gives me a little bit of hope. Let me know if I'm right there. Let me know if I heard that correctly. I've been messing up all morning. So the Galaxy's out here saving the day, keeping me on track. Bill Belichick dating a 24-year-old is wild. Yeah, Penny, that was not the off-season move I expected from Bill Belichick. I was like, and the worst part is, bro, he looks so old, bro. It's so old. It is so old. The GOAT said 100% correct. Look, that gives us some faith. That gives us some faith. Look, I'm not super high on the Steelers. I never am. I never truly am. But my co-host, Dude with a Beard, he has the Steelers winning the division. I have the Ravens. It starts today, week one. Week one versus the Falcons. This is a big matchup. A lot of people have you losing this game, and this is a very winnable game for the Steelers. I do have the Falcons, but it is. Justin Herbert is the best quarterback. Justin Herbert isn't even the best quarterback in his own division. Oh, I missed Rick's comment here. Oh, shout out to Amanda. What's up? Ricky, Patrick Mahomes is the new age Aaron Rodgers. They can make all the throws and are mobile enough to extend plays with their legs. Yeah, except for I would say Mahomes has a better arm by a minute. By a fabulous minute. Like, it's not even close. Oh my God. Wow, Penny, bro. Bill Belichick met her dad and was 22 years older than him. That is some shit. Bruh, if I was the dad, if I was the dad of that lady, I'd feel a little disappointed in myself. I ain't gonna lie. And there would be contemplations about how well I can do life in prison. There'd be contemplations about how many times I watched CSI to know how to properly dispose of a body. Like, how do you? It's crazy. It is crazy. Like that is just. You're 22 years older than me, and you would like to date my daughter. To the say it out loud test. Just, I spent too many years in Kansas City for that to be a realistic opportunity. Like, if we're just gonna be honest, like, shout out to Bill Belichick, I guess. It makes you wonder, like, are we just now learning about him and 22-year-olds? Or are we, has he been doing this the whole time? Or did we just catch him in public? Like, what happened here? And I do want to touch on the Aaron Rodgers thing versus comparing to Mahomes because, I can see the comparison, right? I do think Mahomes has a better arm, stronger arm, and maybe even a better football IQ at this point of his career. It's kind of hard to judge because Aaron Rodgers sat on the bench for a few years, and maybe that costed him a ring or two. But, I've seen Mahomes carry a bad team to a Super Bowl or a questionable offense. I'm not going to say a bad team, but like last year, we seen it. Like, you seen Aaron Rodgers? Do you think Aaron Rodgers would have took last year's Chiefs team to the Super Bowl? That's a question. That feels very questionable to me. That raises some question marks. Let's see, what other game is popping out to me? Let's see what we can talk about. You talked about Justin Herbert being the best quarterback galaxy. They are playing the Raiders today, and I do have the Raiders in that game. Now, the Raiders are one of those few teams that you can say might just be a quarterback away from being a legitimate team. But on the other hand, the Chargers have their quarterback in Justin Herbert, who is a good quarterback. Do not get him. Some people talk trash on Justin Herbert. I think he's legitimate. I think he's a solid guy. But he ain't got nothing around him this year. And that is a scary, scary, scary thought. You don't want to be stuck like Chuck like that. Like, it's just no bueno. Who are you passing to? Like, you're starting to go from like your number 3, 4 wide receivers to making them your number 1. There's just so much of that team got picked apart and thrown away. I don't like it. Maybe next year. Maybe next year we'll go with the Chargers. It seems like everybody went from chasing quarterbacks to beat Pat Mahomes to look to trying to get a coach that can beat Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes. Bro looks like Travis Kelce. You are the second person today, Maverick, to say that, and I wish it was true. It's not true. I can't read your name for some reason. I got the sunglasses on. Do you have an Eminem lyric that resonates with you? Yes, I do. Let me see if I can get this right. Superman ain't saving shit. I leap tall hoes in a single bound. I'm single now. Ain't no ring on this finger now. Relationship, save it, bitch. Look, I can go on Eminem all day. Damn, son, is this 23-1? What is that some kind of lock? Oh, that's one of them prison shows, huh? Look, you would think so. If I moved the background, it'd be a white wall, right? Like just a plain white wall. So that'd be crazy. You thought this was Travis Kelce too? This is Randy's Kelce, his brother. Yes. Yo, I think I gotta remember if I made a video on that like last season. I was like, everybody forgets about Randy. Nobody ever talks about Randy Kelce. Everybody forgets old Randy. Bro, I wish they'd call me Randy. if Trav or Jason would call me Randy, your boy would be jumping up and down out of this chair. Like it would get excitement. Still can't believe 23-1. They get sunglasses in jail? That sounds questionable. They got beaches and sunsets in jail? Look, you're not a very good detective. That's all I can tell you. Yeah, it's a little rough on them detective skills. Oh, 23-1 lockdown. Yes, of course, there's sunglasses in jail. No, there's not, bro. I've been in jail. There ain't no damn sunglasses. You lying. You lying. Maybe in prison. Maybe that's a prison. I ain't never been to prison. So, but I promise you, I've been locked up for a day before and for driving a little too fast in the 65. And they didn't let me keep my sunglasses. So I know you bullshitting. You're out here capping, as these young kids like to say. A day? Yeah, bro. What do you think? I'm a hardened criminal? You think I'm a hardened criminal? It wasn't even a day. It was probably like 3 hours. I just had to wait to get bailed out. God dang it, hot diggity damn. But yeah, apparently they don't like it when you drive too fast. It's crazy. And little did I know they could take you straight to jail. No, you can buy sunglasses in prison. I'm gonna take your word for it, bro. Maybe you've been there. Maybe you've done that. I can't. I don't like to say definitives to things I've never done or don't truly know. But I don't ever remember seeing nobody with no sunglasses. And I know they took mine. They didn't let me keep wearing them. Apparently, 120 and a 65 goes straight to jail. They don't even let you talk your way out of it. No tickets or nothing. They told me I was going too fast, but I had just got back to the United States from living in Germany for a few years. And I was used to driving a whole lot faster than what they even caught me at. So I don't know what their big deal was. But yeah, we shook that one off pretty easy. We got out of that one. Your boy learned a long time ago. Make sure you hire a good lawyer. Like that's how you figure that out. Now these afternoon games are kind of interesting. I am looking forward to the Cowboys versus Browns. You went to jail for speeding. Must have been Georgia. Look, you can't speed in Georgia. I don't think I ever would have made it to 125 in Georgia. Like they would have the three C's of Georgia. You've got crackheads, cops, and cockroaches. That's all Georgia has for me. That's all I've ever seen there. But that does track, Ben. If you have them white ones inside, that might be a tad zesty. But hey, to each their own. This actually ain't even white, bro. It's like that glow in the dark color. That doesn't glow in the dark though. It doesn't make sense. But they're not white. I got a pair of white ones. You called them zasty. I look funny in like aviators and shit. These are like the only style of glasses I really like. And maybe those like those Blues Brothers glasses. They look pretty good too. I got the Lions this year. I think Detroit might get it. Look, I've got the Chiefs versus Lions. We're on the same page. I think that's the matchup. I think that's the way we go about it. I like it. I like what the Lions have been doing. You can check the tape. I've been on the Lions bandwagon for before they got good, letting people know that Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions were going to be a force to reckon with. And man, it's good to be right sometimes. It's good to know that the Detroit Lions might actually do it. Look, and I'm not saying the NFL is rigged, but if it was, the Detroit Lions make the most sense. It just truly does. You got all the storyline there, right? You got Jared Goff, who's never lost to Mahomes, right? Never lost to Mahomes. Beat him every time. Shout out to Jared Goff. Underrated pick. It's a good wild card pick. Look, and what's blown me away Like normally, like last year, I picked 49ers Chiefs, and like most people didn't have that, and I felt comfortable. I thought, the name of this show is the Bold Sports Show. I thought I was being bold picking the Lions. And I've been truly, truly impressed by how many other people are picking the Lions. Like I thought I was going to be having one of those, like, oh, call my shot deals. And there's a lot of people picking the Lions. A lot of people high on the Detroit Lions. But I don't have them winning this week. That is something we need to talk about real quick. I want the Lions to win this week, but I bet the Rams. The money line, that the betting public went so heavy on the Lions. I had to go the Rams. It's going to be a close matchup of a game. And for 95% of the betting public to pick the Lions, lets me know we need to pick the Rams. People sleep. They forget. They forget Rams are a decent team. I do have questions about the defense on the Rams, but, you got the Lions by 7. I hope you're right, man. It makes that path to the Super Bowl a lot easier if they win. Now, Vegas does have it as a 3.5-point spread, and they give 3 points to the home team. So they're basically calling it a half-point favorite for the Detroit Lions, which seems about right. But let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about how well the NFL did week 1 setting up primetime games. That Chiefs-Ravens game was awesome. That Eagles-Packers game was pretty legit. And then that Rams-Lions game, Sunday Night Football, is a matchup of juggernauts. And then Monday Night Football with the Jets and the 49ers, like, come on. Welcome to the NFL. Welcome to football. Here we go, boy. Get you excited. I like that they put that matchup. And look, the Lions could win by 7. Yeah, and JCR is pretty much put the definition of my pick this week. I've got the Lions winning, but I would follow the money and bet the Rams. And that's exactly where I'm at. Like 95% of the betting public, it is so skewed to the Lions that look, I might even you might not even want to touch it. Yeah, and you're a Lions fan. Look, and I'm Team Ryan. You go back 2 years. Look deep into this YouTube page, and you will find that very early support. We were talking about every time they lost, I'd be so mad because I could see the potential in the Lions, and it would drive me crazy. Ooh, we got Texas Repo in the house. Shout out to old Texas Repo, big supporter of the show. I'm looking forward to that Texans versus Colts game. We haven't talked about it yet today. We do need to do that. Gambling, you have to take the fan stuff out of it. That's exactly right, JR. I often do not bet the Kansas City Chiefs just because as a fanboy, like the season that got me was that 3-13 season before Andy Reid. I bet the Chiefs to win like almost every week that year. And the 3-13, like it made the losses hurt more because it wasn't just emotional, it was financial, and just leave it alone. But yeah, it is pretty. I'm not sure who you're shouting out hi to, Eco. That's yeah, I'm not sure what those words. I can't even pronounce that. That's. I don't even know if that's English. But yeah, let's get into Texas Repo's little Texans versus Colts matchup. This is another one that's interesting. This is one of those games where the Texans are heavily favored, and I still think I'm picking the Texans. I think I'm still like, even though the betting public is super heavy on the Texans, I'm not a believer in the Colts. I don't have faith in Anthony Richardson. I know you can't judge preseason that way, but preseason made me get off the Anthony Richardson train. It seems very RG3 to me. Uh, JC said, P.S. Texas Repo, your Longhorns kicked our butt yesterday. I don't follow college football. Who did the Longhorns play yesterday? What the old Texas? Let me pull it up. Let me find out. I am curious. Michigan. Oh yeah, Michigan will get them. There we go. That's a nice one on your resume at least. Um, but Michigan, they lost a lot of seniors to the NFL. They lost their coach to the NFL. Like Michigan's gonna have a rough couple of years. I think Michigan's going back to being irrelevant. I think that's well on their way. So shout out to the old Longhorns for kicking butt. I'm not a Michigan fan. I'm not. I'm not. But you know what? Michigan does, like the state of Michigan is. If you get outside of Detroit and some of the other shiesty towns, it's got some beauty to it. You know, it's probably the most beautiful rundown state I've ever seen. You get all them tulip fields and stuff going on. Like it's got some spots, but it is one of those states that I've been to and have no desire to go back to. So, shout out to anyone that's surviving in Michigan. I'm guessing JC's one of those dudes. And man, man, it's the reason I'm leaving the beach life. I guess they might have beaches in Michigan. You got a lot of lakes, but not like real beaches. You know what I mean? A lot of bitches though. I always forget. There's a rapper out of Detroit that I always like. I always forget his name. I don't know why. He's a goofy looking dude, but he always keeps me. He's got a podcast too. I'm trying to remember his name. Can't, I can't remember his name. What's that goofy dude's name? I forget it every time. Oh well, what you gonna do? What you gonna do? Let's talk these Texans and Colts a little more though. I think the Colts are gonna have a hell of a game plan to be any kind of serious competition, right? Like to take them seriously, we're gonna have a whole lot more. I know this is just a bad game for them week one. I have the Texans as the second best team in the AFC, and I don't have the Colts anywhere near that. But shout out to them. The AFC South has went from a complete dumpster fire, like all four teams, to, pretty competitive. If you look between the Texans and the Jags, you got a lot of playoff hopes there. The Colts could get it in. The Colts, if they ever put it together, if Anthony Richardson turned out to be that guy, I've been wrong on quarterbacks before. I said Jordan Love was going to be trash, and he turned out to be okay. So I've swung and missed. So, they're doing okay. I like it. This is a surprise underdog for me. This is what I called the underdog game of the week. I could not believe the line, but it was the Cowboys versus the Browns, and they have the Browns favored to win this game. And I put a double. It's not often I throw double units on bets, but I doubled it up on the Cowboys. Like I want to get it. I threw them in a parlay. I went a little heavy on these Cowboys. A little too much money on these Cowboys over Browns. So I needed to pay off. Truly do. Texans wide receiver core may be the best in the AFC. Maybe the best in the NFL. Let's not sell that short. The whole NFL. I'm super high on the Texans wide receiver core. I'm getting there with the Chiefs. Suddenly, I'm starting to feel a little more confident. Like we might just I need Hollywood Brown to come back and be healthy to start really being on that list and have him perform. But you give me Rashid Rice, who's going to be 1,000-yard guy this year more than likely. Xavier Worthy being that kind of X factor, giving you some electricity on the field, getting some speed back on the field. A lot of development there. We got Juju as a number 4. You know, Watson as a number 5. I like it. I like it. Not too bad. But I would still take the Texans wide receiver core over it, unless you factor in Travis Kelce. If we add the tight end, if we're allowed to do that, I might take Kelsey, Rice, Worthy, Brown, Juju over that. It's real borderline though. And I feel like I'm cheating adding Travis Kelsey because he's not a wide receiver. He doesn't get in the wide receiver core. So I'd have to cheat to be competitive, to get in the same conversation. You know what I mean? And even then, I still feel like it's just the conversation. Yeah, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, Stephon Diggs. Oof, you got 3 number 1s, bro. 3 1s. And I'm super high. I know you put Dell first, but I'm super high on Nico Collins. I personally think he's the best wide receiver in the group. And that's crazy with Stephon Diggs on the list. You know what I mean? Geez. And Stephon Diggs wants to be there, supposedly. He says anytime he wanted to leave, he said the Vikings didn't want to get rid of him and the Bills didn't want to get rid of him. But he made sure he got out of there. So you always get worried about that, I want to be there, I'm going to play aspect of it. But when he does, he's excellent. I like Stephon Diggs. I think Stephon Diggs doesn't get as much appreciation as he truly probably deserves. If we take a second and look at what Buffalo Bills looked like before Stephon Diggs, it wasn't pretty. Stephon Diggs is the reason I took the Bills out of the playoffs this year. How about that? How about that? No playoffs because Stephon Diggs. And that should show you the factor of what Stephon Diggs is going to do for the Titans, especially since Stephon Diggs has finally other talent around him again. Look how electric he was with the Vikings when they had him and Adam Thielen. It was just monstrous. Hey, shout out to Henry. You're the second person to give us fantasy football question. Fantasy football question. And that's what we're here for this morning. Start one. DeAndre Swift, Gus Edwards, or Javonte Williams? Oh, that's a tough list. I like Javonte Williams or DeAndre Swift the most. I'm going to go DeAndre Swift. That's a tough one. Yeah, I think I'm going to go. Man, that is a pretty. I see your dilemma there, Henry. Let me put a second of thought into it. Let me take a step back. Since you were nice enough to ask the question, it makes me want to give you a little bit. Do I want to go Javonte? Let's go with it's week 1. Let's stick with what we know. Let's lean heavy on DeAndre Swift. I think that's where I would go personally. That's a tough one though, because they're all secretly right there around each other. Let's see if I can't pull up little stats and see if I can get a little. Let's see if there's if there's anything about these games that will make you go a different direction. There might be something that gets me to move. I'm gonna check out the matchups. Let's see. Let's see what we're doing. Oh. Oh. Let's see here. You made me take off the sunglasses. I haven't done this all morning. Look, I gotta put these bad boys back on. It's starting to get bright. Yeah, I think I'm going DeAndre Swift. Let me see. Oh, that's kind of a. I like DeAndre Swift because the Titans, I'm not huge on the defensive line. I think they might run heavy for Chicago, especially if they get up early, right? And then, Titans got a monster secondary, which makes me a little bit nervous for Caleb Williams. Let me see, Gus Edwards. You're playing the Raiders. Definitely don't want to do that. The Raiders are having a monstrous defensive line. I would stay away from Gus on this game. He's got potential later on the season. And let me see. Where is the other game? Yeah, I would just go Taylor. I'd just go DeAndre Swift. I think that's going to be your best bet by a country mile. I think that's probably where I'm going. How do you think Aaron Rodgers is going to do with the Jets this season? People are saying playoffs. We're talking playoffs. Oh, if he's healthy, it's possible. He can get a wild card spot. I've got the Miami Dolphins winning that division, even if for some reason Aaron Rodgers can stay healthy. I'm just not completely sold on Aaron Rodgers this season. There's just so many questions. And, you worry about off-season for guys, and with him, you got to worry that he's out there taking too much acid or ayahuasca or whatever drug he's into. I think he likes playing football still, which is going to help. But can Aaron Rodgers even play 17 games at this point? Honestly, that's the question. But yeah, Henry, I'm starting to, let's go DeAndre Swift. I think he has the easiest defensive to play. So that's the route we're going to go. I think that's the way to go with the running back. And potential for trying to burn that clock. Even though by that point, maybe you're not using DeAndre Swift. Maybe you're moving on. Yeah. Oh, I don't know. The Rams' defense might be questionable. They're playing the Raiders. Yeah. Was he ranked higher? Did we get higher ranked there? Yeah, I'd stay away from that Raiders defensive line. Oh, you're playing Seattle. What am I thinking? Javonte Williams is playing Seattle. Ooh. That one's got potential. I'm not sold on Bo Nix. So you might need a run. And they might run heavy just because it's a rookie quarterback. Both of them, though. Let's stick with DeAndre Swift. That one's got a little coin flippy between Javonte Williams and DeAndre Swift for me. I know I've been saying that for about 10 minutes now, but that one's a thinker. Always, as long as we ain't rushing through them, I like to put a little thought into it if we can. Let's see if there's what other games stick out that we should run over again. What's your guys' opinions on the Commanders with Jaden Daniels? They're playing the Buccaneers today. think the Bucks should win this game, but this is another one of those Vegas heavy games when no one's picking the Commanders. So I did bet the Commanders. We'll see how that goes. I like Jaden Daniels, though. I think he might be the rookie of the year, quarterback-wise at least. You know, it depends on what Caleb Williams can do. My co-host isn't high on Caleb Williams, but I think he's got tons of potential. I think he might get it done. He might be that dude. We'll see with Caleb Williams. We gotta wait to see. But I think the Bears were smart and really tried hard at putting talent around them. So I think it's possible. I think with that Javonte Williams, we need to talk about the Broncos versus the Seahawks. Because this is my favorite time of the year for Broncos fans. This is when they're still excited. They haven't had the shoe drop yet. They haven't found out that the quarterback they got is a bust yet. They haven't been disappointed. I do think it's kind of crazy that, you know, when they get Russell Wilson, they got to play the Seahawks. When they get Bo Nix, they got to play the Seahawks. Shout out to Jay for stopping by. He's got ICT concepts. I'm not sure what that means, bro. We're over here talking football. You're out here speaking Russian. Can you break that down for me? What's ICT? I hope this ain't some troll that I just fell into. Once a stream, I get a troll that pops in, and usually I can spot them from a mile away, and they get me. So maybe this is one of those moments. This might be my moment where I get got. Free sauce. What are you talking about, Jay? Like, Jay, bro, bring us into this loop. Like, I'm trying to figure it out. Free sauce. We talking about Sauce Gardner? The Sauce Gardner is free, I believe. We get a little free hot sauce. I don't know what ICT concepts is. Now you're speaking Russian. We don't speak Russian on this show. This is America. Man, that Ravens Chiefs game was a monster though. Maybe we'll review that real quick. I know it's a game that's already happened. You know, what's really blowing my mind with the Chiefs versus Ravens is it's not really blowing my mind. I'm getting used to it. I'm getting real used to it. But just how many fans immediately start going to the referee conversation. Like the referees caused the Ravens to lose. Somehow it's unfair. It's, you know, we're cheating. And what really blew my mind was they would sit there and point out like 5 missed calls that they didn't call on the Chiefs, right? And I go, what missed calls did they miss on the Ravens? And we get radio silence. Suddenly, these referee experts can't spot a single missed call. Besides, maybe the only one I heard was the roughing, too far out of bounds on Patrick Mahomes, hitting the guy out of bounds, which was a missed call. You know, they did miss that call. They like to say it was a good no call, but you can't push the guy once he's already out. You know, some Ravens fans were a little salty about it. I didn't get it. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird, but sometimes that is what happens, folks. You know, that is what happens. And it was wild to me that nobody could find any other possible penalties on the Ravens. And they're supposedly holding on every play in the NFL. And while I was watching the game, while I was doing a play-by-play on here, I called it out a handful of times where Chris Jones was getting held. You know, you see Mike Dana get held a ton. Like the whole defensive, like the offensive line for the Ravens was holding hardcore all night. Like some blatant. There was one that they called that it was almost a late flag. Like it took them forever to throw it, and I think they had to because it was just so blatantly obvious they were holding Mike Pennell. Like it was unbelievable how hard they were holding them, and they finally called it, and it was like, yeah, I appreciate you finally paying attention to what's going on to this line here, because the only reason Lamar Jackson is getting time is because of this hold. Like the offensive line for the Ravens will be the downfall for them this season. And it's wild to put together a running team with a bad offensive line. Like it just doesn't make any kind of sense for that to be a legitimate strategy. Like, how do you go into the season going, yep, this is what we're going to do. We're going to be a run team. We're going to run. You know, you pick up Derrick Henry, and you don't want to invest in the offensive line, especially that interior. The outside tackles look like they were doing okay versus some pressure, but that interior, that center guard combination for the Ravens, not too pretty. Not too pretty. And what else wasn't pretty was watching Jordan Love go down. Watching him not finish that game was a kind of a heartbreak. I knew they were done. I could start telling when the Eagles were burning clock. It just wasn't enough. You know, sometimes when you start getting into that last 5-6 minutes of the fourth quarter, you can be amazed at how quickly they can burn that clock. My Eagles won. Way closer game than I thought. Packers played well. Shout out to Oki for popping in. Good comment too. Look, I picked the Eagles, or I picked the Packers to win that game, mostly because the Vegas betting odds. But I thought it was a pretty stellar matchup. What I was real happy to see, though, was Saquon Barkley excelling with the Eagles. You know, I watched Derrick Henry with the Ravens, and I thought it was going to be similar. I thought they were going to be both banging teams. You know, I thought they were going to be both great additions. And Derrick Henry came out pretty flat with the Ravens, and Saquon Barkley showed that he still could be that guy. Like, get me on a team with some talent, and I'll show up. So shout out to Saquon Barkley. The Eagles are going to be a team to mess with. They're going to be a team to compete with. They might move. I had them in the playoffs before the season started, and I'm feeling real lucky. You might be talking to I had them wild card though, and Dallas winning the division, and maybe, just maybe, the Eagles might win that division. And shout out to you from Oklahoma. That is a state. Talk about Oklahoma. Do you know why it's so windy in Texas, Okie? This is my favorite joke of all time. Or do you know why it's so windy in Oklahoma? Excuse me, I had it backwards. If you know why it's so windy in Oklahoma, you might know this as an Oklahoman. As someone from Oklahoma, you might know this one. Gibbs Productions, the Eagles are God? Or I'm guessing you meant good. Yeah, they're pretty good. I'm not going to put them in God status. They're not an elite team, but they showed up. I am a little worried about how many turnovers they had in that game. Would they have like 3 turnovers, I think? Yeah, okay. I got you, Gibbs. And for some reason, Gibbs, do you make YouTube shorts? For some reason, I feel like you've seen your YouTube shorts. Maybe I'm confusing you with someone else. I could be. I feel like I've seen some YouTube shorts with a similar name that I liked. Yeah, there we go. You do good production. I remember being like, man, this dude can produce better. Once you start doing that video editing stuff, and you start noticing how it all goes together and stuff, you start noticing like how much work someone put into a quality product. So shout out to Gibbs for that. I'm pretty sure I've seen it, just as a casual YouTube fan. So, shout out to you. Keep up the good work. Maybe we'll have you on as a guest one time or something, since you cover the NFL as well. We try to have guests on, usually on Wednesday nights when we do our picks, so maybe we'll have to try to get something. Maybe we'll have to try to link up or something. Let's see. And that's pretty crazy that I remember, like, you put out good work if I remember your name, and it's a kind of unique like that one. I think the joke you're going to tell us, but only because my husband, who is from Texas, just told me. Yes, 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 it is. It is the exact joke I'm about to tell you. It is so windy in Oklahoma because Texas blows. Shout out to your husband. I only make that joke outside of the state of Texas. I'll never make that joke in the state of Texas. They do have that slogan, "Don't mess with Texas," and I only mess with Texas when I'm not in Texas. So shout out to the hubby. He knows the joke. He's probably the reason why he's in Oklahoma, ain't it? Look, let him tell the truth. He's ready to move on. And I'm not saying this without experience, okay? I've worked in Texas for 3 months, 2 times, okay? Yeah, I was in Waxahachie, which is just outside of like Dallas, and Magnolia, Texas, whatever they call that stupid name. And that's just outside of Houston. And that was all the Texas I needed in life, Shout out to anybody that enjoys it, but I've never been a Texas guy. Not my cup of tea, as they like to say. Yeah, but that has always been one of my top 3 jokes. I got a blonde joke that I like a lot too. It's pretty good too. It's not appropriate for YouTube. They might shut me down over that one. What other games have we not talked about today? Ooh, dumpster fire matchup. Let's talk about a little dumpster fire. We've got the Vikings playing the Giants. 2 teams battling it out for top 5 picks. Let's go Vikings. I've got the Vikings in that game. I don't like the Giants at all this season. I think they will be number 3 in the draft. I think the Panthers are going to run away with it, and someone will slide into number 2. There's a couple contenders for some dumpster fires this season, like the Patriots. They got potential for dumpster fire. Colts have strong dumpster fire potential. We always keep the Broncos in dumpster fire potential. There's no team in the NFL I like picking on more than the Broncos. There's no fan base I love trashing more than the Broncos. Oh, man. I still remember when they got their 3rd ring and they tried to tell us, shut up until you get yours. And now we're sitting at 4. We went from 1 to 4 that quick. We got the 4th ring. Nice and happy to be a Chiefs fan. There was a lot of rough years being a fan for the Chiefs. You started hoping for Matt Castle to win you games, and you're in trouble. You're in deep, deep trouble. When you start looking at Brody Coyle and Tyler Thigpen to win football games, you are in trouble. It makes it rough. It makes it real, real rough. Let's see. That's pretty much the games of the week. You know, we hit them all pretty much. We got the Jags and Dolphins that we didn't really touch on. I like the Jags a bunch in this one too. This is going to be a tough, close matchup. This is going to be a banger down in Miami. Now I was just in Miami last month enjoying a little vacation time. And it's just a reminder of how beautiful, why Tyreek Hill left Kansas City. You go down to Miami, you understand why he took the money and the tax-free state and the beautiful beaches. Like, you ever been to Kansas City and Miami, you'll understand it. Dolphins or the Bears? What you mean there, Gibbs? The Dolphins or the Bears? I'm going Dolphins. I like the Dolphins better than there. The Bears, the Titans can be sneaky, but I think they have the worst quarterback room in the NFL. Like, the fact they started the season with Will Levis lets me know you had no hope for the season. Okie says, my husband is a Cowgirls fan, and I'm an Eagles fan. I always think that's crazy how y'all get together like that. So we are a house divided. He's giving me some dirty looks right now, all in good fun though. Look, I feel like there is no two rivalries that get married more than the Cowboys and the Eagles. Okay? I could not marry a Raiders fan. I couldn't marry a Broncos fan. Like, it just wouldn't work for me. And I know the Eagles Cowboys hatred is that strong. Like, it is ridiculous. And the fact that I hear, like, I feel like y'all got to be the 1200th couple that are Cowboys, Eagles fans. And it blows my mind. But make sure you tell hubby that I picked the Cowboys this week. Cowgirls, excuse me. Let's get the name right. I picked the Cowgirls to win this week, and they better, because they're my dog of the week. My bankroll will be cut in half if they don't win. Gibbs said Will Levis is a bust. Yeah. I thought we clearly established that. Like, I don't understand how that was the strategy going into this season. Like, there was nothing about Will Levis's performances that suggested, hey, we need to do this. We need to get it. This is kind of crazy to think about, you know? Man, I just feel bad for Titans fans. Like, you get rid of Derrick Henry and you still trotting out Will Levis? Like, if you got Will Levis as a quarterback, you got Derrick Henry money. What are we doing here? He must have wanted to leave. He must have been just done. He's tired of carrying it. He said, my shoulders are too heavy, folks. So when he first got drafted, it was already bad for the Titans. Oh, big facts, man. Big facts. Man, that ain't no lie. That ain't no lie. It didn't take much. It didn't take much to see that wasn't it. And that's fine. You can swing and miss on the draft, right? Like, you got to throw darts at that quarterback board until you hit one. But you got to know when the game's over. You got to know when to move on. And to suggest Will Levis, like, come on. For what? There was so many. You could have got somebody. CJ Stroud is the best rookie quarterback, probably. Look, I'm high on CJ Stroud. I'm high on the Texans. I'm super big on them. What's your thoughts on Caleb Williams? Do you think he's going to outperform what CJ Stroud did last season? There's going to be tough shoes to fill. I have trouble imagining he does. But just because we already got that head start with CJ Stroud, you already know what the benchmark is. And that seems like it was set awfully high. It should be a good one. I like CJ Stroud, though. I do have the Houston Texans as the second best team in the AFC. I think they can win a lot of games. The Houston Texans are no joke. And like just the whole roster, I think they got the best wide receiver group in the league. I know we were talking about that probably 15 minutes ago, but just man, that whole Texans team is loaded, and I'm glad because the Texans, that fan base, deserved better. Like they were such a dumpster fire for so long that you just had to hope and pray that it can get a little bit better, just a little bit better. I don't like the Bears, so I don't like Caleb Williams. Hey, there ain't nothing wrong with that. That's not a bad move. Like, not a bad strategy, I would say. There's a lot of questions about Caleb Williams that no one really wants to talk about. You know, I think they've crowned him as the next guy a little too soon. A little too soon. It is why I did stick with the Bears over Titans, even though the betting public is super heavy on the Titans. But if this is rigged, Vegas doesn't want to lose that much money, right? With the Bears, with the Titans. But you need that Cinderella story. Sometimes you need it. Yeah, Tank Dell, Nico Collins, CJ Stroud, Stephon Diggs. Like, man, that Texans roster has a way where you can just keep listing dudes. They just you can keep going on. They have a young team. Yeah, they're going to be competitive for a long time. If at the very minimum, you're looking at what this season, you don't have to pay CJ Stroud. And I think you get next season where you don't have to pay CJ Stroud. So you get 2 more years of a quarterback on a rookie contract, which is what you're looking for, right? That's generally the formula for success. So it gives you a chance with CJ Stroud. It gives you a chance. You might not this year. I think I'm going to pencil in the Texans to win the Super Bowl next season. They'll stop the four-peat. I think the Chiefs are just destined to win the Super Bowl this year. Patrick Mahomes honestly kind of needs it on his resume because of that head-to-head matchup with Brady, because he lost those. I think he kind of needs it on the resume for the GOAT arguments. There is questions there. You wonder if it will be enough, but oh man, Gibbs, the Chiefs are not gonna three-peat. Oh my God! Look, statistically, it's easier to say they're not gonna do it, right? If you're gonna say, give me 31 teams or the Chiefs, you might bet the field. You might say, give me all the other 32 teams. I think, but let's be honest here. What team in the AFC is supposed to stop the Chiefs from three-peating? I definitely have them going to the Super Bowl. Do you have them in the Super Bowl and losing? Or what's your Super Bowl matchup? Let's get that. Ravens. Ooh, Ravens. Corey says the Chiefs aren't finna three-peat. What's your matchup? Well, who's the team from the AFC then, Corey? Lions and Chiefs or Texans and Lions? And at least you got the Chiefs in there. I've got the Lions and the Chiefs. That is my Super Bowl pick. My matchup. And I hate to be the bearer of bad news. I like the Chiefs versus the Lions. I like that. There's a reason as a Chiefs fan, I like that matchup. And I say that even though Mahomes has never beat Jared Goff. But you just got the Lions as a lock. He locked them in. My co-host picked the Packers. all of a sudden, that ain't looking too good. Yeah, we won 2 times versus the Chiefs. Yeah, and Jared Goff. I think Jared Goff is 3-0 versus the Chiefs with the Rams game. Or was it? Or was it just the 2 matchups? I can't remember. But I know Jared Goff played him with the Rams. Yeah, Jared Goff always beats the Chiefs. That's what I'm saying. He was down there in old Mexico and pulled it off. Nice. That was an electric game. Wasn't that like 54-51. I was just trying to remember the score there. Thank you for that, Gibbs. Yeah, that was like, talk about a freaking track meet, man. That was, you don't ever see those games. Yeah, that Rams team was a good matchup. That was, that's the year the Rams won the Super Bowl too, right? Am I remembering that right? Am I getting my years mixed up? I think that's what it was. Like, and look, Jared Goff is one of those underrated guys. You know, maybe he's Pat Mahomes, Nick Foles. They lost 2019. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you for that. We are talking about, god dang, 5 years ago on week 1 NFL. That's crazy. There we go. It's making me feel better. Thanks for backing me up. It's always appreciated. We'll always like to get the facts right, you know. We like to make sure there ain't no misconceptions, no confusions. And man, I've been missing them all day today. Been getting some facts wrong, and I'm usually better than that, so I do apologize. But yeah, that was Rams. Jared Goff. He's so underappreciated. You know, that ended up being what it seems like a good trade for both teams, trading Matthew Stafford and Jared Goff, because for the Lions there was no drop off, and for the Rams they finally got over the hurdle. I still think I think Jared Goff would have won that Super Bowl that Matthew Stafford won. They got Matthew Stafford. The Lions got Jared Goff, and Stafford went to the Rams. The Rams win. When Stafford got traded in his first year, they won in his first year. Yeah, there we go. That's what it was. Yeah, how did I mess that one up, bro? That was terribly bad. That was a terribly bad mess up, because how could Jared Goff went to the Super Bowl that year? Yeah, that was stupid. You're gonna have to excuse me on that one. That was an early morning mix up there. I can't believe I asked that question out loud. Yeah, because Stafford was the one that won the Super Bowl, so it had to be the next season. That's sad. Yeah. But I think Jared Goff would have won that Super Bowl that Matthew Stafford won. Like, I think they kept trying to blame Jared Goff as the problem, and it wasn't just him. I don't think Matthew Stafford was such an improvement over Jared Goff that that's what got them over the hump. And man, I don't know. Matthew Stafford's always just been I'm not a Matthew Stafford fan. I'm just truly not. Just truly not. Well, folks, Joe Burrow should have won that Super Bowl. Yeah, I had that Super Bowl messed me up because I had the matchup right, but I had picked Cincinnati to win. I didn't think it was going to be, I thought Cincinnati was going to win it. But what you going to do, you know? I think Cincinnati's window has closed. That's something a lot of people ain't talked about. I don't see Joe Burrow's making it back. And I feel bad for Joe Burrow and Cincinnati Bengals fans because they just, for whatever reason, refuse to surround that dude with an offensive line. They will not protect Joe Burrow to save his life. And it's sad to see because I think Joe Burrow is an amazing quarterback and tons of potential with that whole team combined. But what you gonna do, man? What you gonna do? Well, folks, I think that's gonna be our show for the day. It's getting to that time where the kiddo is waking up and wanting pancakes, and I'm gonna have to go do some daddy duties. Aaron Donald retired so the Lions could win week 1. Look, hey, that's the biggest question mark with the Rams week 1. Like, I'm really worried about that defense, especially without Aaron Donald. And the Lions have a monster defense, so, or not a monster defense, monster offense. The defense is okay. It's good enough. They have a good enough defense that they can really compete with the Rams. The Rams got an offense too, though. Stafford got an injury in practice. Oh man, I didn't even hear that. What? What? When was this? When was this? How am I just now learning this? Oh no. We might really be, I might have to, let me pull it up. You got me doing some Googling now. Matt Stafford. Come on now. What's going on here? Oh, Matthew Goofy looking Stafford. I'm not seeing nothing. What am I? Hamstring. Oh, no. No. He needs to be healthy. They ain't got no chance without Matthew Stafford. Shout out to the Lions. What is... that ain't helping me. Let's see what... I did not see that. Thank you for pointing that out. I might have to go triple up. I might have to double down on the Lions just to break even or something, just to skew it back my way. Oh, I gave out some bad picks this week. Oof. Oof. Ugh. At least I said I wanted the Lions to win. That makes me feel better. At least the team I wanted to win wins. But thanks for pointing that out, folks. Thanks for everybody that stopped by and making this show successful on a Sunday morning to kick off the NFL week. We're live every night, Monday through Friday at 9 p.m. Eastern. And we try to do stuff on Saturdays sometimes. And Sunday morning, we do whenever I wake up, I go live. So Sunday mornings are like I wake up early morning. I started 8 o'clock today Eastern time, 8 o'clock morning. But 9 p.m. Eastern is when Monday through Friday is when you can catch our regular shows. Monday we do NFL review. Tuesday is a game show night, so you can win some free sports cards and stuff like that. Wednesday is pick night. Thursday we probably do like a watch party. And Friday we do drinking and sports talk. So make sure you tune into one of those or whatever. And we'll have to try to tap in and see if we can't get you on the show sometime or something. See if we can't work that out. But appreciate y'all for stopping by. And don't forget, go Chiefs. 3P.